Greetings. This is Sister Charlene Muhammad with Pumps on the Ground on National Network View. This week's current report comes out of the Final Call newspaper. Our topic, COVID-19. We begin with student minister Dr. Ava Muhammad, who talks about the vaccine as part of a panel on the Black Family Summit's COVID-19 forum. Student Minister Dr. Ava Muhammad talked about why the Nation of Islam views the vaccine as an instrument of death, why the Nation of Islam's Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in his July 4th message the criterion that we will not take your vaccine, and more. Co-panelists Dr. Leon McDougall of the National Medical Association and Pastor Calvin Butts III of Abyssinian Baptist Church echoed Minister Ava Muhammad's remarks about historical mistreatment of Blacks by the U.S. government, and they said that they recommended the vaccine. The other story is about the growing numbers of frontline healthcare workers who do not want to take the vaccine and why. Also, contributing writer Anissa Muhammad covers student minister Dr. Wesley Muhammad's address from Mosque Mariam recently, headlined Beyond Tuskegee. Her article, Targeting of Black People for COVID-19 Vaccine. You may read these stories in entirety at finalcall.com. And now we segue to our segment, Boots on the Ground, which salutes the fruit of Islam, the men who go out in the field each and every week with the Final Call newspaper, bringing it to your door. We have joining us out of Atlanta, Georgia, Brother Derreck Muhammad, also known as Derreck Fourreal. And we also joining us, Brother James Muhammad, student first officer out of Mosque number 27 in Los Angeles, in the field with members of the push crew as well. Student captain of Compton Mosque number 54, Will Muhammad, and also Brother Darren Muhammad. So this is our show for tonight. I thank you, brothers, for joining us, and welcome to Pumps on the Ground on NNV. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sister Charlene. Pumps
Thank
on
you
the ground.
so praise.
Big
Boots
shout out.
on the ground. Yes, sir. I'm grateful to have you both on, Brother James, welcome back.
Yes, ma'am.
And also, Brother Derreck, thank you for joining us for the first time. And
God bless you. Yeah, I spoke to you
as well. And so we're going to start first with you, Brother Derreck. And I would like for you two to make sure to engage each other as well. I know you know each other, you push together, but this show is to talk about what you do and bringing that word of God from our publisher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, straight to the people. So I appreciate that as a sister, as a Muslim girl in training, as an MGT, and I want to uplift that. So we're going to go with Brother Derreck, and we're going to come right with the same question to you, Brother James. And I say it like that because I want to delve into, with Los Angeles, the uptick in street violence, which is underreported. Really, I don't think it's being reported because of what we're experiencing with COVID-19 and the national political scene. But let me ask you first, Brother Derreck, if you would give us some opening remarks and let us know why you carry the Final Call newspaper. And we'll come right next to you with that question, Brother James.
It's a good question.
Allah. Well, first, let me start off in the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger. I just want to greet my family. That's you all are my family in the nation. Greeting words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.
Like salam.
It's an honor for me to be here to talk about the #1 program and just the behind the scenes of us as soldiers who really get out here every day and get this word out. You asked, why do I do it? I believe Allah chose me to do it from birth, but when I didn't even know, like I joined the Nation of Islam in 1993 by the grace of Allah. I'm 43 years old now. And when I first came into the nation, I was kind of tricked from my big cousin. He was like, you and your slave name, we used to live in the same apartment together. I was like 16 years old. And he was like, I might have to kill you one day in your sleep because you and your slave name. I ain't know what he was talking about. I'm just like, man, what you talking about, bro? Like, you gonna have to kill me in my sleep because I got a last name of Mason. So he took me to the mosque the next day. I started the process. I didn't know who the minister was. you know, but I knew what the final call was because the brothers in Atlanta, they hit me off with like 3 bundles my first day in process. When I told them I wanted to do it, and I went and got a big old suit that I couldn't fit. They hit me with 3 bundles. And I learned who the minister was through the work. So I felt like being blessed to do it in the capacity that I'm blessed to do it in, you know, the minister says that when you know that you're born to do something when it comes easy to you. And that was pretty, you know, something Allah put in me. So I love my people and I just love Final Call newspaper. It's the #1 tool. You know, they can argue with me, but they can't argue with what's in that paper.
Liberated sisters.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Derreck. I can't wait to go into your testimony and story. Brother James, same with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you carry the paper? And let me also extend that. I asked that question because, you know, it's easy. We could say, well, we're supposed to. But why?
Sister Charlene, that is a very, 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 very great question. You know, while we deal with the Final Call newspaper, while we push it, while we get it out to the people. You know, big shout out to you, Sister Charlene. You know, I got to give it to you before I get started. You know, you out here in the field, pumps on the ground with the boots on the ground. You know, you making the connections, you hooking us up out here in the streets. You know, big shout out to NNV News. You know, the services, the media. You know, just the pre-show, getting everything squared away, angling the cameras, adjusting the sound was very professional. You know, I love the full get down. You know, with the full media team. You know, that's working. Well, basically, you know, we have our brothers in the back right here. Got brother student training Captain Will out of Los Angeles in the back. We got student Lieutenant Darren in the back. And, you know, we have a business together.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
we have a business together. Actually, we have 2 businesses together. And these 2 businesses would never have gotten started, you know, without us being in the field, you know, pushing together. You know, we used to be in the field pushing, having revelations and say, man, you know, we need to start a business. But before I get started on that, I would like to give a major shout out to my man, Derreck Fourreal, who's a push crew legend. You know, straight up, hands down, out of Georgia. He's a Hall of Famer with the Final Call newspaper. I remember one time in the Final Call, we were discussing the Final Call newspaper, in FOI class. And, you know, L.A., we was on the climb of being #1. You know, we was rallying, we was going hard, we was making it happen, we was rallying. Brothers was giving 200, brothers was giving 50, they was giving their money. Brother Derreck Fourreal, you know, he got the Holy Spirit of Master Farad Muhammad. And he jumped up and he put $1,000 on the Final Call newspaper for that week, and everybody in LA went crazy. That took us to #1. That took us to #1 in the Final Call newspaper. So, you know, he's a crosstown pusher. You know, he in Georgia, but he move around, you know, and he's definitely a Hall of Famer. We bear witness to that. Nothing but love to Derreck Fourreal. I got to say that. And these are the reasons that we push. But we used to be in the field pushing, carrying our bundles, you know, myself, brother training captain, student training captain Will, brother Darren. And while we on the corner and we get the no's, we get the yes, you know, we see everything happening, and we used to just get revelations with each other. Like, man, we need to start our own business. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to build a foundation. You know, we doing this as we pushing on the corner and going door to door. And you see us here today. You know, we move around every day with each other. You know, we have 3 businesses with each other now. And one of those businesses is a foundation, you know, New World Academy Foundation. Sister Charlene came out to one of our food giveaways. You know, she took pictures, you know, she posted things, you know, on our Instagram, on our Facebook. So she bear witness to the truth. But this all started by pushing. You know, it builds the camaraderie of the brotherhood. And actually pushing is a direct law from Allah. Now, if you go back to the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, before a messenger or a man of God was on the scene, it was always particular people that went to different jurisdictions and say the man of God is on the scene. You know, they had to go to Hercules, they had to go to all these jurisdictions, and they'll blow their horn. Da-da-da-da, a prophet is on the scene. A messenger of God is on the scene. They did these 1,400 years ago, back in the day. So we fast forward to 2021. Somebody has to announce to the people that a messenger of God is on the scene. Somebody has to announce it. We more than just a final call newspaper carrier, a paper boy. Who is announcing to the people? Who's warning the people that a messenger of God is on the scene? So the push crew, the final call, the push crew official, we're responsible for delivering the message to the people and letting them know, making them aware that is a messenger on the scene. Because if the push crew, if the FOI, if we don't go out there and we don't warn the people, we are held responsible for not warning the people and letting them know that a messenger is on the scene. And we know that messenger today is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the strongest man going right now. So we're responsible for that word. We're responsible for getting it out to the people. And it builds camaraderie, with the brotherhood. I love to push. I love to get that word out, to the brothers and the sisters. I feel like if we don't push the final call newspaper, we lose the city.
Wow.
In any town, in any jurisdiction, if the push crew in L.A. and Georgia, if they not in the streets, if they not pushing, then we're gonna lose the city. Because we have COVID out here.
Wow.
Gang violence is on the rise. We getting texts and we getting reports every day. Drive-bys is up. People are getting killed out here. People are being affected with the COVID. And they dropping like flies out here. They shut down the Los Angeles morgue. They shut down the coroner's office.
Wow.
Just not enough room out here no more. They brung in 10 refrigerated trucks, to house the bodies. So we're definitely on the scene. That story that came out on the news where it says the ambulance is not, doing any resuscitation, only they give you 20 minutes. The push crew, the Fruit of Islam and FOI right here in 27, along with you, Sister Charlene, through Brother Nash, we broke that story. Our regional captain sent the LA brothers out to investigate the COVID, what's happening, where these morgues are going, where they're taking our people. So we sent one of our media guys out to Martin Luther King Hospital. He was able to infiltrate real deep, and he was able to intercept that message, that policy that was sent out to the nurses and all the hospital staff, saying that they will not resuscitate individuals if they're dying. You can fall on your motorcycle. You can get stabbed. They're gonna try one time to try to revive you, and if they don't bring you back, they're gonna sign you off as dead. So once we intercepted that story, our guy Brother Nash was able to call every news outlet and media, since he is a Muslim and he is a Mason and he has connections in the media world. He was able to call everyone on his media team, and he was able to leak that story out. So this is why we push.
Yeah, emergency management services. Thank you so much for that, Brother James. And I want to pick up on some of the uptick in the violence a little bit later.
Absolutely.
That's critical when we see that the hospitals in California, across the country, but particularly here, are overrun. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Sister Charlene.
Praise be to Allah.
Appreciate you.
Because it's bringing the word right to the people. As you said, there's so much warning. If there ever was a time, which is there never was a time that we didn't need it, but now, right now, with so much misinformation, and what I would like, and real misinformation, we keep hearing that word, as student minister Dr. Ava pointed out, the trusted messengers, and I'm talking about what we're carrying, some of the articles in the final call regarding COVID, but the misinformation is not coming from the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, his representatives are bringing the truth. So what I would like to ask you, Brother Derreck, to join in and share with us, how are people receiving the paper and the coverage that you're taking to them?
Oh, the people been, even like when we came off the streets, the minister pulled us off the streets for a while. It was like it kind of hurt for those of us who really love to go out and push. We was just like, it's like we're their lifeline by the grace of Allah. We wasn't giving them no life because we had to come off the streets to preserve our own lives at the time. But now that we back out, it's like they just been, it's all love. They've been waiting for us to get back out. They've been asking questions like, where y'all been? Where's the nation at? Well, here we are. You know, we gonna listen to our general. When he tells us to come off the streets, we come out, and it's for our own betterment. But when we come back out of that locker room, we on fire, and we blazing y'all with this final call newspaper. You know, it's like this thing right here. It's like when the NBA and the NFL stopped, everybody was depressed, and nobody had nothing to do, nothing to watch. What's the same with us? You know, not that this is a game or nothing, but we the biggest on these streets when it comes to saving lives. You know what I mean? This is our way of life right here. When y'all tune into the NBA and the NFL, y'all do that for entertainment purposes, and it's cool. But we're not here to entertain you, but we're here to save lives. But we're gonna make this thing. We're gonna work cheerfully, and we're gonna make our way of life the way of life. Something that like y'all marveling over that. Well, come on over this, because we really saving lives over here, and it really means something. And the people are receptive to that because inside, whether they joining us or not, they know that we they only hope.
That's right.
So they definitely receiving it from, you know, I'm from Indianapolis originally, then been blessed to go to Atlanta and L.A. and Vegas. Like these are all these mosques, each mosque number is a different team to me. And the way we win our championships is making our mosque number one in final call sales, making our mosque number one for first time guests. You know, so we go out with enthusiasm and the spirit to go out after our people. So they receiving us. If they not receiving, you got to check your own spirit because they love Honorable Louis Farrakhan. We the closest that they gonna get to him. So hey, you might as well put a smile on your face. Go out here and get your boots dirty.
Hey, get them on the ground. Thank you. You made me think of something in terms of the people receiving me because they love him. You know, so if they're not receiving you, then there's a connection problem. That wasn't your life or that was mine. But what has been the biggest challenge or the something really unique and different that you had to overcome in pushing?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes, sir.
okay,
That's
yes,
right.
ma'am. Well, being that I got my push crew brothers on the phone, they can
That's right.
bear
Push
with me
through. Come on.
when I came to L.A., and I'm not making this ain't even about me, you know, but I thank Allah for putting a special spirit inside of me, and you know, like a LeBron James winning type of spirit. So when I got drafted to L.A. I was in Vegas at the time. I came to L.A. You know, I had a lot of off-court issues going on. You know what I mean? I was balling on the court with the Final Call newspaper, you know, being that soldier, but my off-court issues, domestically and all of that was what was messing me up. And brothers like J.A., my brother Kill, I call him Kill Will because he's killing the devil every day. My brother Kill Will in the back. These brothers actually, it's bigger than just coming to a FOI class and learning the chemistry. But when you outside of the class, and them brothers may come to your home or come to your place of business, or just come meet you in a gas station or somewhere, just to give you some encouraging words to stay focused. And it was like in LA, I really thank a lot because it seemed like every week that paper came out, I was under a whole nother trial every week.
That's right. Go
and
ahead.
I had to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
just
sir.
to stay grabbing like 500 to 1,000 papers. But the devil know that because we put it on, we document all our stuff. But when we do that, we got to be careful because the enemy, he got to come at us so we show that we doing something positive. So every single week, I'm talking about the paper come out every Tuesday or Wednesday in LA. Monday night, something happened. Something happened. So I had to get over that, and I got calls from my bros like, "Look, man, you need to stay focused, bro. Like, don't come on the court with them issues, bro. They gonna be there, but we gonna work. We gonna be there for you to push through that." And I'm talking about some real, like my mother passed away.
That's right.
Wow. This was 2016. My mother passed away, and I thank a lot, like I said, for brother Captain Halim, brother Will, brother J.A., brother Shaheed. You know, these brothers took me into their homes and like brother Shaheed put me on this exercise machine just to get my hair right because my mother died, I think it was on right after the Saviours Day when we came back from Chicago. I had won a trophy and medals and whatnot for Final Call sales to bring to her. But when I landed in LA, I got a phone call like, "Hey, mom passed out at work." And I'm thinking she's gonna be all right, I'm on my way. But 10 minutes later, I got a call saying she passed away. And My word
Yes.
for Allah, the
I
very
remember
next
that.
day, the very next day, I'm paying for 500 papers, like, and carrying them out of the mosque, going to Imperial and Crenshaw with a pair of sunglasses on. Like, if I blink, you're going to see me crying. I'm trying to hold all these tears in, but I kept pushing. I kept pushing that phone, and it fed my spirit. Like, even to this day, I ain't went and took no time to myself, but I keep working to get me over that, and
That's right.
brothers like my brothers in L.A., that was a real championship for me. I can say that year we won our
That's right.
championship because
Come
we
on, that's
became
right.
number one in final call sales. We became number one in first time guests. It
Yes,
was like
sir.
LeBron coming to LA as
Come
a
on, come
franchise
on.
player. My brother Daniel with the bow ties. We feeding him business. My brother Brian with the bean pies. Everything is clicking. We got a smooth system running. And in LA, hey, ain't nothing like that push crew.
Come
You
on,
know
come
what
on,
I mean?
push crew.
So I love it. If I answer the question, it's
Yeah.
like the people, they love us because we love the ministry. Now, if you got a problem when you're on the block and you're not being successful, it's because something's going on inside that you're not praying enough about, fast enough about, and then just working that problem out. So,
Yeah.
you going to the block with a sad face. And I mean, I had some real situations. Like I said, domestically, my mother passed away, everything. And them brothers was always there for me
Yes,
as a
sir.
brotherhood to stay focused and go out and push. So
Wow.
I
Thank
believe that the people are receiving us now more
That's
than ever
right.
because they know we got issues, but we not faking nothing. We for real about everything.
That's right. That's
you.
right.
Thank you for that, Brother James. Oh my gosh, you don't you move, okay? I need
Okay.
to take a commercial break real quick, or
Come
I'll
on.
say a promo break at least. But we're going to come right back, Brother James, and pick up with you with that. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. This is Pumps on the Ground on NNB Network, and we are speaking with Brother Derreck Fourreal, Brother Derreck Muhammad out of Atlanta, and James Muhammad right out of Mosque number 27 in Los Angeles, and Brother Derreck, Mosque number 15. We will be back.
Greetings. This is Tarika Shakir Muhammad with National Network View. This week's final call cover story reads, Respect and Protect the Black Woman. On the freezing night of February 21st, 2019, Chicago police raid the home of Ann Jeanette Young, leaving her nude and handcuffed after smashing down her door. Protesters gathered at police headquarters with intense anger and demand justice. The outrage and pain runs deep after another incident of foul play by police on a black woman. To read more, subscribe to finalcalldigital.com. And thank you for tuning in to NNV News. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below, follow us on social media, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, NNV News. This is Tarika Shakir Muhammad with NNVnews.com.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Cash App, NNV News.
Thank you so much, Sister Tarika. Brother James, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, Sister Charlene. I am here, my sister, with pumps
Oh,
on the ground and boots on the ground. I'm here. I'm
that's
not going
right.
nowhere.
Praise.
Final call, we 10 toes in. We're not going nowhere.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I want you to come right in with that question. I know we talked in one of the very first shows. As a matter of fact, you all were the inaugural show, and you talked about one of the challenges. A brother who was out to do evil saw you all pushing at the Sloss and Swap meet. Stop. You prayed with him right there. I want to ask you, what has been one of the most rewarding experiences, unique and rewarding in the field that have experienced with the paper, just to show how important it is that you're there?
Oh, yes, ma'am. The importance of the final call and the type of miracles,
Mhm.
in which it worked, for people. For instance, my sister is a metro driver.
Mm.
And one day, and her route is down Imperial. She called me one day. She said, Brother J.A., she said, who is the brother on Imperial? She said, that brother is with it. He got final calls stacked up. He not playing out there. And it was the brother Derreck Fourreal. He was out there. My sister right now is practicing Islam. Just those little sparks. She got a prayer rug. She'd have been to Saviours Day. You know, she on with the you know, she listened to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says. You know, it's just little things like that. You know, when the brothers are out on the street, it may be a brother that in his mind want to do a drive-by shooting. You know, he may want to rob somebody.
Right.
But when he see a brother out there with a paper, a warrant, or a savior, it helps him to change his mind. Like, prime example, before I was in the ranks of Muhammad, I used to read the Final Call newspaper from cover to cover, every edition. It was just so intriguing to me. So when I didn't see the brothers on the corner, I used to go look for them. I mean, I spent an hour or two. Where the brothers at with papers? You know, because brothers, they move from corner to corner. If they was there last week, they may not be there this week. If they were there 2 weeks ago, they may be on another corner. So I drive around until I find them because I depended on that information. I depended on being current of what's going on in the world. You know, I watched the CNN, I watched the news, I was watching the Discovery Channel, but was it nothing bringing the information like that Final Call newspaper? You know, like the words, you know, of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, nothing. So prime example, myself and Brother William, you know, the training captain out of Los Angeles, we were at the swap meet one day. You know, Slauson swap meet where everybody comes, you know, everybody, whole families, everybody in LA go there to buy their jewelry, their clothes, you know, everything. And it was a brother.
Mall,
they buy everything. It's a little super mall, you know. So a brother walked up to myself and Brother William and said, man, I feel like doing some evil to somebody. He said, my mind is not in the right state. He said, man, I drove around looking for you brothers. He said, can you brothers just pray with me? You know, can you just pray with me? Because what I got on my mind, that I'm thinking about doing, I don't want to do it, but it's overpowering me. So, you know, we put our papers up under our arm. You know, we had mosh meeting. We you know, like opening, closing prayer. And that brother thanked us. You know, he really thanked us. He said, you know, he felt better, a better heart. The things that he was thinking about doing, you know, he wasn't going to do that anymore. So, you know, we blessed him. We told him, you know, God loves you. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan love you. We love him. The nation is here for him. And that changed that man's life, you know, for that day. You know, I haven't seen him since that. You know, I don't know what came out of that, but all I know is that there is a faithful place in my heart to let me know that we really, really, really gave brother what, you know, God put in our heart to deliver in him. So these are the type of blessings that we get. Another blessing that we get is I used to wonder, like when I went to all these different schools, you know, I went to Cal State University of Northridge. I went to San Joaquin Valley College, all the brothers I grew up with in the hood. I went to 2 different high schools, and a lot of people I don't see anymore. Pushing the Final Call newspaper, I have ran into everybody from every school I went through, from every walk of life that I would never have ran into if I wasn't out there pushing the Final Call newspaper. I mean, I have ran into people that, you know, I've been dying to see again, you know, and then I'm in a whole nother light. I got the Final Call newspaper. So I done ran into people like, damn, man, this is real. You know, I done ran into like enemies. You know, when I was out there, you know, I grew up on the low bottoms, you know, on the east side. Captain Will grew up deep on the east side in the East Coast hood. You know, I grew up in the 20s, low bottoms, close to downtown LA. Brother Darren in the back, he grew up in Inglewood. You know, Inglewood families, there's brothers from various tribes, you know, in our nation. I ran into brothers when I was out with that foolishness, you know, thinking I was doing something under the manipulation of my Lord desires, you know, trying to be a whoever, you know. I ran into brothers I had issues with. And when they see me with the Final Call newspaper, it's a blessing to give a final call to a brother that y'all used to be enemies by ignorance. Wow. And these brothers respect you, and then they shake your hand and tell you they love you. You know, I live in a neighborhood right now that was known as my enemies when I was in elementary and junior high and high school. These was my enemies. You know, that we was on 2 different sides of the track. You know, you had them over there. They didn't want to see our side. We didn't want to see their side because it was going to be bad. But I live in that particular neighborhood right now where my so-called enemies live. And when they see me at the gas station, they give it up to me. I can give them a final call. It's like we all had the same mother now. You know, it's
Free.
like we had the same father. So these are the type of blessings that you get, you know, from the Final Call newspaper. You know,
Thank
many of us, oh, go ahead, Sister Charlene. That's it. I'm going to cut it right there.
Well, you don't have to cut it. Just hold. I want you to come back because I saw brother. I could feel Brother Derreck's, you know, it's body language. Like this is resonating again, and this is. I want to hear his testimony on the same, and I want to come right back to that because it's very real, you know, to be made an enemy of your brother. But then here's the minister gives you something that gives you life, and you are walking with it, and you're testifying about that. And I saw
that's real.
Go ahead, Brother Derreck. You don't have to hold your peace.
Oh no, I'm just riding with what my brother said because like a lot of people don't understand. You gotta be a special person to soldier in LA. Like you have to be a very, very, very handpicked special individual to soldier in LA, Los Angeles County. A lot of people don't like, a lot of people just don't. For one, it's fear, you know, and when we accept the teachings of the Most High Muhammad, that fear is out of us. It ain't a man in LA who I fear, and I know how to really. You want to talk crazy? I know how to talk crazy back to you and back it up. It ain't about talking crazy, but them people got to really. You got to make them brothers and sisters feel you in the streets of LA. That's the only way they coming. So everything that my brother said, like another championship, I call these pleasure moments championships because we got to experience what it feels like to win. And our fight song is say we fighting for Islam and we will surely win. Some of these fights and scraps that we got into, like when our brother Nipsey Hussle passed away.
Yes.
I don't think, and this is not to downplay any other city in the United States, but I don't think no other city in the United States of America would have handled that situation the way Allah blessed us to handle that situation in LA. We became the news reporters. We became the police. We became the whole dictators of everything that was going on. We was giving it to y'all raw and uncut in the realest form. We didn't know that some of the videos that we was shooting down there, we just trying to feed the public on what's going on. But these videos taking off, like I know 2 videos that I did by the grace of Allah personally. One was at like 4 million views. The other was like 8 million views. This is like real people checking in to see what they ain't turning on the news, and if they are, they turning it off, going to their phones to see what the Nation of Islam is doing. And everything that my bro Jay was just saying, we walked through the roughest hoods in LA during that time. We shook hands, we cried with brothers, we hugged brothers from every hood, every step. My man bro Will in the back can tell you, like, we was on Broadway. We was on Broadway, and Brother Fontaine had came out with us, and he got to experience. It's a special group. Allah had us there for a reason.
Talking about we on Broadway.
And it felt good to know that. The way the brothers that we was dealing with, Allah had us dealing with them. Obviously, he seen something in us to say, I'm sending y'all on this front line right here. You know, and I think we went with about 7 to 10 bundles. We walked down Broadway and back up, and they was gone. No papers on the floor, none of that. And I actually handed people the paper to people who might not necessarily been with Nick when he was alive, or just from a whole nother hood, but they had to respect it. Even though this brother's from 60 or whatever, and they might be from somewhere else, they had to respect it. You know, because the FOI bought it to them and bought us together. Like that's another championship. I got off the subject, but you know, that's what it was. I mean,
you're fine, and thank you for saying that. I do understand what you're saying too, especially you just commenting on, and each place is unique. Like you said, no disrespect to anywhere where any FOI pushes, right? But I remember you made me think of just really small. My thought about when I forgot what city it was, but it's so hot in the area that the brothers were allowed by the minister to have a certain chart set. Do you all remember that?
Miami, that's Miami. I was down there too at that time. We have to wear linen suits in Miami.
Very nice, but you know, there's something unique to every place. But you're right on that Nipsey piece. You know, being a sister who I wouldn't call it a ringside seat, you know, right there in the trenches in the middle You're right. The brothers and sisters became the reporters. All the news. It was a governing. If I could receive what you're saying, it's like the nation had to govern that whole area, and the people allowed that and not submitted to it, but called for it. They called for the help, not just the people on the ground, but the city officials themselves. And it would have just been a bloodbath in
Yes,
my
ma'am.
experience of covering things like that. It would not have gone the way. Our people would not have been able to mourn and to grieve and to also celebrate Brother Nipsey that way. But we have one of the points on that right here, Brother James and the brothers. So I will make way for them to engage with you, Brother James, on that with you. Go ahead, Brother James.
Yes, ma'am. I remember that day as if it was yesterday. One of our media brothers, Brother Nash Baker, who is a part of the media, was down at the Nipsey Hussle site shortly after our brother was murdered. As soon as he got the news that our brother was murdered and the cameraman and the police start coming, Brother Nash phoned me. So it was myself and the brothers of the push crew, FOI push crew. We were just thinking about pushing that day. It was a normal Sunday. Mosque meeting was just about to end, and I received a phone call. When I received that phone call, it was disheartening to me, that I had to break the news to, our student regional minister, Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad, and I had to break the news to our regional captain, Halim Muhammad, that Nipsey was just murdered.
Wow.
And at this particular point, brothers were like, what happened? Nipsey was just murdered on Slauson. So we was like, wow, we didn't know what happened. We said it's about to be a bloodbath in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So we began to prepare. We was at our wits' end. And, our hard driving student minister, Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad, formerly Tony Muhammad, he declared that we was going down to the crime scene. And at this particular time, we was in full FOI uniform on this particular Sunday. This was the first Sunday of the month. We was in our full FOI uniform. So with our FOI uniforms on, we had our hats, brothers was revealing their stripes. And we went down to the actual crime scene. And we moved around and people was like, they were just in shock and awe, that the Muslims was there. And we had such quick response to the situation and showed so much support. Fast forwarding to the situation, I received a call from our illustrious correspondent of the Final Call newspaper, Sister Charlene.
Brother.
She was pumped up. I'm talking about she was ready to put her life on the line. She was ready to go down there. When we didn't know, we had sketchy details. We didn't know exactly. We had no idea what happened. She called me. She was like, Brother James, Brother Student First, I need security. I needed, and we heard it was reports of shooting down there. It was almost a riot situation. And Sister Charlene, ever since I've been in the mosque, all I've known about her was the Final Call newspaper. That's it. That she does the Final Call newspaper. So she's the carrier of the message. So I said, Sister Charlene, I understand your zeal, sister. We really need to get this story. We got to make sure that the believers get this story. But I said, we can't allow you to go out here this day, right now, until we get the grips on it. We got to know what's going on. We just can't put you in harm's way because we don't know who did this. We don't know if somebody's going to come through. We don't know what the situation is. So I said, Sister Charlene, tomorrow, we'll set everything up. We'll do some behind the scenes interview. We'll make some connections and you can get a Class A interview. But tonight, we just can't do it. She was a little heartbroken. Because she had the zeal of an FOI, of a goddess to go out there and get that story. So, the following day we was able to get Sister Charlene, behind the scenes and get some interviews, from some people, that was highly connected to that neighborhood, and came with the facts, of the story. But it was something that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, came and blessed the land. He blessed L.A. He said in order for him to come to Los Angeles, the FOI would have to move how many papers? How many, Brother Derreck Fourreal, do we have to move? Brother Darren, Brother Will? We had to move like 4,000 papers. Yeah. The minister said before he stepped foot on the L.A. soil, L.A. would have to move 4,000 papers. That was like so he was basically telling us, when we move 4,000 papers, we're going to change the atmosphere, the stars, the moon, the sun, the people, all the elements in the universe are going to turn a certain way once we move 4,000 papers. It was like a prophetic speech.
Right.
I am not touching down on this soil until LA moves 4,000 papers first. We had people like Derreck Fourreal in the region. We had brother, what's that, Brother Ali in the region. That's Ali in the region. He came down. We had straight our push crew superstars. We had Brother Daniel, we had Brother Terry, we had Brother Billy, we had Brother Willie, we had Brother Darren. It was no doubt in our mind that we wouldn't move 4,000 papers.
Yeah.
So we moved the 4,000 papers, and we changed the atmosphere. We changed the elements in LA. We changed the earth. So the messenger of God, it cleared the way for the messenger of God to come to LA and bless it to be holy ground.
Brother, I'm cool.
It's crazy that you say that, because oh, my bad.
No.
Go ahead.
It's for you.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Because this is a whole. This is a whole topic about how this thing came about. Like I was in Denver, Colorado the night with Goody Mob doing a concert. I had a plush hotel room. I got 3 phone calls. I got a phone call from my brother here. I got a phone call from Brother Fontaine. I got a phone call from Captain Halim, right?
And Abdul Brother Abdul Rashid. Now, no, you good.
That's right. I'm just saying it for those who don't make that. Okay, but listen.
That's right.
Yes, sir. But I ain't had no suit with me. I was moving merch for the Goody Mob on a tour. I got the car that night. I didn't go back to my hotel room. I had all my bags with me. I went straight to the airport. I called my brother Jami as soon as I landed in LA, like, bro, I need a suit. I don't got no suit. I'm thinking I'm just going to be here for like 3 days doing this detail. That 3 days turned into a week. That week turned into the minister sending out another 90,000 papers.
Come on.
So I'm here. I'm in the hotel every day. I'm walking to the Burlington Coat Factory every day to buy a new shirt. That suit changed colors on me. I wore it. It was hot around the time. That suit literally changed colors on me in 72 hours. So I had to get another suit. My brother Brad came by the hotel, bought me another suit. And we just worked every single day nonstop. And Allah had all of the frontline soldiers there in LA for a reason. Like you say, my brother Ali out of Oakland, my brother Henry right there out of LA, J.A., Push, the whole push crew, everybody that was on that front line from Slauson and Crenshaw to the Staples Center to the West Side, everywhere. Allah put us there for a reason. We got the call, we here, we obeyed, we showed up and showed out on another level.
That's facts.
We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break and we're going to come back with that, because talk about pushing to the extreme. Talk about pushing on another level. And it took the crew that knows how to do what it does, because, and I'm full on this whenever you all bring that up, because I saw the life-saving. But Brother Derreck, when we come back, I want you all to talk about that. Yes, the minister was sending the papers out a gift. Not one dime was he asking from the people for the paper. He did that twice. And I saw them just flying off the truck. But we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be back. This is Pumps on the Ground.
National Network View was recently banned from the media platform YouTube.com. Within 12 hours, the NNV IT department quickly sprung into action with an independent service system to back NNVnews.com. The nation's news network is now streaming content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As we extend gratitude for the believers' financial support through donations, this media activism will not stop. Please continue to be a part of a force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Donate to NNV News. This is Clifton Muhammad with National Network View.
I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. We're back with Pumps on the Ground. I want to go right back into the topic in this show topic, which is the FOI push cruise, the national force that came down when our brother Nipsey Hussle was murdered. And as a matter of fact, I want to just give a quick update before we put you on your remarks about it, First Lieutenant James. But look, the case right now with Nipsey Hussle, where it stands, the suspect, the accused, Eric Ronald Holder Jr., is still awaiting the pretrial hearing. The pretrial hearing, has been postponed for several times, most of them due to COVID-19 and the shutdown and the different waves of how the criminal court in Los Angeles is operating. And so at last report, according to a news service here, the pretrial was supposed to be in December, but we got word that was postponed. His attorneys would like that to happen in January. According to the report, Judge Robert Perry, who I want you to remember that name, Judge Robert Perry, was the judge that oversaw the case of Johannes Mejeli, who killed Oscar Grant III. And that case did not go well in the courtroom. And so people are really wanting to pay attention to what happens to this case with Nipsey Hussle. And so that, according to news reports, may not happen. It may take all of 90 days, according to the last reporting on that. But the final call will be giving an update on what's happening, not only with the case, but with what's happening with the development project, right? That whole Marathon store, Brother James, you can bear me witness. It's an eyesore. It has been allowed to become a blight. Now, the Marathon store is doing much business. They're up and running because thank Allah for the virtual world. But this corner, that beam of light and hope there, I don't think it's all put out, right, Brother James? Because I see people still coming in out of town plates. Of course, they could be rental cars. Maybe they're not, but they're standing on the barrier that's there. They're taking pictures over the tarp. But go ahead, Brother James, follow up on what Brother Derreck Fourreal was talking about in terms of the paper. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm just full because I witnessed it, and I witnessed God's movement and life-saving method through you all with the paper, but also your lives. I saw you escorting our people in and out of there, giving them the paper, going on the push, going into the projects in the different areas. It's something I can't forget. And it's a fullness that comes up because this is why we say not only this reason, but the FOI is the backbone of the nation. And the nation is not just the nation of Islam. But Brother James, you better rescue me right now because I'm, going back. I'm going back. Can you hear me, Brother James?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, this moment right here, with this Nipsey Hussle situation that took place, in Los Angeles, this is really a tragic situation that happened to a young brother, and and the Fruit of Islam, the L.A FOI, we had a lot of intelligence. We sought out a lot of intelligence in this matter, so we'd be able to move around. A lot of intelligence was coming to us, exactly, what was happening in the streets. The police, they just basically gave us the city. They gave us the complete city. And whether they'll ever admit it personally, whether they admit it privately. You know, we was in the police headquarters war room, you know, where they strategize and, you know, where SWAT goes and you know, and all they top brass, and they got the boards up in the room, they situation room. You know, we went that deep into the police department, you know, because they really respected, you know, our swag as military men. So, you know, we had a lot of information. We had the intelligence on where the police had put secret cameras. You know, they had put cameras on street poles. You know, they put mobile cameras. They had drones everywhere. You know, they tipped us off to things that were happening, you know, in the community. We know we have brothers and sisters from the Rolling 60 community where Nipsey was a part of, you know, giving us intelligence, you know, letting us know where is the positive flow of this situation, you know, how we can be a better service to their community. How can we be a better service, you know, to the community? You know, the ultimate situation is when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, free of charge, you know, blessed Los Angeles with the free final cause with Nipsey Hussle's picture on it. I mean, these final call newspapers were equivalent to America right now if they just gave gold out. If the Vatican gave gold out right now to everybody in the world, and you know that the Vatican just came to L.A. and just started giving everybody gold. I mean, these papers are like, you know, I mean, words can't explain, you know, hats off to the Final Call newspaper and people like Sister Charlene that crafted that paper and put their stories in it and made it an award-winning paper. We know the enemy of Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you know, the Jews, the so-called Jews, would never give us credit, you know, for the greatness we did. But all that greatness came from Allah. You know, we had the sisters out there, you know, that showed up in mass numbers, you know, suited and booted with the garments on. You know, we had the junior brothers coming out there. You know, we had our camera crew. You know, we had people just falling in the ranks. You know, it was just a beautiful, beautiful situation. We had the Crips, we had the Bloods, we had the Latinos, all on the same team. You know, we had the A-Trays and the Rolling 60s that was arch enemies for years, shaking hands in 60 Hood. We had people from various communities that was enemies to the Rolling 60s, you know, that came to this area, and everything was kept in law and order with the FOI and the MGT and the Nation of Islam. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is a servant of Allah. I bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our divine reminder. You know, and I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad has been exalted to Godship. You know, the police gave the city, to the FOI. That is something. They gave the city to us. You know, we was in a sense, we was protecting the police.
Yeah.
You know, we were protecting the citizens. You know, that is something I'll never forget.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to keep stepping over you.
No, ma'am. Go ahead.
They really had to, because, you know, the people were just outraged.
Yes.
And part of that was because of the stampede that was caused tonight, you know, that called you all back.
Yes.
But I won't go too further. I want to keep the focus for the rest of the show on what you two are sharing, you know, because I'll start recalling this, and there's so much still yet untold. But to your point, and I'll throw it back to you, all praise is due to Allah for the Minister Louis Farrakhan, and for those who are obedient to him, for all of the regional and the national, everyone who had a part, for his son, brother Muda, was it? Oh my God, what's our brother's name? The minister's son, who brought the issue of Nipsey to him. I want to say Mudathir, but forgive me if I'm saying the name wrong, or I'm misidentifying the minister's son who put Nipsey on the radar for him. All of this. But go ahead, brother James. And what we're talking about, of course, is the impact of the paper and the work there. This is what it's all about. But continue, brother James. and then we're going
Oh
to come.
yes, ma'am. So I mean, the whole atmosphere of that day reminded me of Brother Cam's peace treaty. You know, it was like Brother Cam's peace treaty on steroids. You know, it was an amazing situation. You know, to see us out there. You know, it was unfortunate what happened to brother, but nothing happens, you know, by Allah's permission. You know, and He permitted certain situations to happen. But the FOI was there. It was the MGT was there. Sister Charlene representing the final call. She set up a table there. You know, putting her life on the line, being there. You know, and when people were sometimes unruly. You know, but after the FOI, come on.
They won. This brother came up. I was like, Brother Abdul. Brother Abdul. No, go ahead, Brother Jay.
Right. You know, the LAPD was about to shut down that complete Dipsy site until the FOI showed up. You know, the mayor and the chief of police, we had went back to the mosque. The police chief and the mayor on a Monday night contacted Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad, the Western Regional Minister, and said, hey, we need y'all down here immediately.
911.
So we was at FOI class. We lined up in ranks. You know, we followed the instructions of our regional captain, and we caravan to Slauson and Crenshaw. And we set up a beachhead. You know, we set up a beachhead behind enemy lines. And you know, we made it happen for our people. You know, we made this one of the most peaceful events in the world.
Listen, exactly, because it was deemed to be the most made, if you would, the most violent, right? Our people are beautiful there. Brother James, I just got to tell you, look, I did not want to leave. I didn't want to leave because I knew something was going to happen, not something bad per se, but just journalistic instincts for the final call on the front lines across the country with this. I knew you don't leave. And when you all were moving out to go back to class, as a journalist, we don't leave when the speakers pack up. The people are still there, but being obedient, which is very necessary, you know, to the security on hand, which was my husband. He was like, we need to go too. I saw the cruisers coming in and I wanted to go back. And then when I saw Brandon Brooks's video from the Sentinel that showed how the police were pushing and really aggressing on the people, you know, the next night I was back and I vowed never to leave again, and it was day to day. But go ahead, brother Derreck, jump in. I just want.
I thank Allah. I thank Allah for our Minister Louis Farrakhan's guidance and wisdom, and just being able to take his instructions and follow them to the T. The people wanted to give us so much money when we was giving out them free issues. I ain't lie. The first $4 was natural. I took it. But I gave it back. Like, hold on, we ain't supposed to take my money for this. But they were just throwing it at us. And we stood on that. Like, no, we're not taking no money. It's a gift from our Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
I think the first two issues honestly they was really the official obituary. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
For that whole situation. So the first two issues that went out, we listening to the minister. He said, give them out. We don't take no money. I'm telling you, we turned down a lot of money. Yeah. We gave it all away though. But by the time that third issue came out, and we had to, you know, we got to pay for this issue right now. We got to sell this issue. My word to Allah, I had like $504 in my pocket. I put it all up on the table. Here, give me 5 bundles.
That's right.
$12 person, Master Father Muhammad. In about 47 minutes, all 5 of them bundles was gone. My hotel was on Imperial in Crenshaw down away from Slauson. I was like, I can't stay out here without it. I had so much money in my pocket. It was like, I got to go dump it to the hotel. Went, dumped it off, came back, and got back to work. So, you know, it's like, it was such a blessing. And to do it, it was like, I hate to say it like this, but it was like an all-star weekend where all-star soldiers in the Nation of Islam came together under the chief who gave the instructions for us to go out. And you had to want to be an MVP. You had to want to really perform, not to be seen in the eyes of men, but to be seen in the eyes of God's man, our Minister Louis Farrakhan, and being obedient and a soldier. You make that call, any give and take, because like, all right, right now, we know things were just getting back on track with the paper. And I always tell my brothers, it's not how many bullets you shoot, it's who you shoot. A lot of us like to carry, I'm an AK-47 buster. I want to shoot all these bullets. A man might have a 9mm though, and he shot them 2 bullets that killed the main person that needed to be dealt with. You know, so it wasn't about how many you pushed. It's about who you gave that paper to. Maybe later on they came into the fold, into the nation. You'll never know because we don't do that. But it's like Allah just, you never know who you touch with that Final Call newspaper. I had the most fun time of my life, even though it was a real serious situation. But the way that the calm that Allah brought over us as FOI first, and the calm He brought over the city. And if I may say this, it wouldn't have been no boots on the ground had it not been for the pumps on the ground to make sure that we were straight to leave the house to go out here and fight this battle. We know when you come home or not. And then the biggest highlight that I remember was when the brothers and sisters lined up in ranks right there by the bank on Crenshaw and Slauson and walked around to the store, like the whole, you could hear a penny drop on the floor. Everybody got quiet. I'm talking about, only thing you heard was the boots and them pumps walking to that site. And our brother Abdul Malik, you know, speaking the words that he spoke, it was like, I really can't explain it. You had to be there, but if I can't explain it, let me tell you something. It was a glimpse of heaven.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Brother Derreck.
Work. I mean, heaven is a working place, so we was working in heaven.
No, look, I believe that we get it. I pray that the viewers understand that the analogies you're making, because I know what you're saying using the words, but Nipsey was an all-star, you know, and wherever his spirit is, that's forever and a day, Nipsey Hussle. And so that's fitting to celebrate his life that way. But the pouring out, people poured out. This is why I told Brother James, I got to go because of seeing his work long before, you know, beyond the music, standing with Trayvon Martin's family, using his celebrity and his money and putting his all to bring peace, to work toward peace. You know, these are things that many people knew, but just as many didn't know. So to hear that loss was immediate. But what I would like to do, because I apologize, we need to wrap the show up, so I'm gone over time, is Brother James, if you would give us your closing remarks and let people know again how they can reach you, as well as you, Brother Derreck, and then I'll close out. We need to go. And would you please come back, Brother Derreck, come back, Brother James. You have a standing invitation, and let us know when you can come back, okay?
Anytime.
Okay, Brother James, your closing? Yes, sir. Brother James, may we have your closing remark? Okay, we got you. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. You know, you can reach me at James Love Muhammad, you know, on Facebook, Push Crew Official on Facebook, Twin God on Instagram. You know, you can definitely reach us, you know, reach me. You know, my closing remarks is this, you know, out of the Nipsey situation, out of us pushing, you know, myself, Captain Will, you know, our training captain out of Los Angeles, we were able to go to where we grew up in our neighborhood, and we was able to help start, you know, a organization where Crips and Bloods still exists today called United We Stand. You know, we have a round table on 76th and Central where we have stopped all the violence by Allah's permission that have happened on the Low Bottoms East Side, where you got Crips and where you got Bloods, originally where gangbanging started, you know, on the East Side. So we had no shootings. You know, anytime it was some type of shooting, anytime it was some type of killing, you know, we was able to bring these sets to the table. You know, we was able to make phone calls, and we was able to squash the beefs, and brothers began to move forward. You know, the same during the time of Nipsey. It was a peaceful situation, and I believe the Final Call newspaper saved all our life. You know, if we didn't have a Final Call newspaper, it probably would have been a riot. You know, but that word of God that we gave to the people, it did something to their heart. It gravitated to them. It tapped into their genetic make. But after a year or so or a month, the enemy began to work. The enemy has begun to make our job harder. You know, we have got hit with the pestilence from heaven, as Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches, the COVID virus. Gang violence is on a spike in Los Angeles. You know, we having youngsters, you know, that are killing each other. We have so many killings that are happening in L.A. and in Compton and Watts. And these are the areas we work from East Side, Low Bottoms, all the way to Watts. Myself and Will and the organization United We Stand that we helped start. And it's murders is just taking place. You know, I'm beginning to see that even the gang violence may be a pestilence from heaven, you know, because we don't want to get our selves together. Like Dr. Wesley said on our webcast, he said, we have had 90 years of these teachings. You know, if we have taken these teachings serious, we would be able to walk around with no mask on, you know, 1 meal a day off the bean soup. Our people would have survived it. So to do, you know, unless we deliver the Final Call newspaper. And I thank Sister Charlene once again. She connected us to a very connected sister that's out of Willowbrook that lost her young nephew to gang violence. And this sister, we prayed on the phone last night, myself, Brother William, and, you know, others. And she's going to be having a walk Thursday, you know, through the streets. And we're going to be there with our mask on, and we're going to be showing support to this sister and the lost lives, you know, that took place around the city of Los Angeles. And we will have our new final call to give to people, because that's what they need in this hour. They need to hear the word of God's man. You know, a lot of times, you know, people that don't understand, they look at people that sell the Final Call newspaper as a blue collar worker, you know, because we're not, you know, we're, you know, they might say, hey, these brothers on the corner. We look like, you know, hey, well, these brothers just on the corner, they blue collar workers. Why they not on a higher level? Why they not securing Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Why they not here? Why they not there? But that is so far from the truth. You know, that is so far from the truth. You know, we have platinum collars, gold collars, you know, being out there, you know, with the Final Call newspaper, you know, and I thank Allah for hooking us up with that Sister Charlene. We're going to go to higher heights. She come to the table with so many resources.
Yes.
So many people that want to get involved in gang violence. She have doctors that want to lend resources and contribute to the cause. And this is all from carrying the Final Call newspaper. This is it. I mean, my success, every success I have as an individual man, and I tell the FOI class, I tell the student lieutenants, you know, I talk to Captain William, Brother Darren all the time. The success we have is from pushing the Final Call newspaper. Our businesses would have never got started if we didn't have a Final Call newspaper. You know, never.
Yeah, thank you, Brother James, for that, and thank you for helping our sister, and her name is Sister Carmen Taylor Jones, and she is a fourth in our community. And she let me know that after we spoke about the one, there were two more within 2 days in the same weekend. And these are not killings, brothers that are quote unquote so-called gangbangers, you know. But at any rate, thank you for that, Brother James.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes, and Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much, and may see you out there.
Absolutely.
And the push crew, and because you all were out pushing, I really appreciate you stopping what you were doing and being on pumps on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Charlene.
Yes, sir. And Brother Derreck, for real, thank you so much, Brother Derreck. Your closing remarks, and we're going to get on out of here.
Praise be to Allah. I mean, I can be found at on Instagram, Derreck, the number 4, REAL_, and on Facebook under Derreck Fourreal. Right now, you know, with this pandemic going on, I was always taught if you can master the art of selling the Final Call newspaper, you can master the art of selling anything of good. So I've been getting real creative with my Fourreal Home Shopping Network and my store. I got a store in Atlanta, one in Vegas as well, by the grace of Allah. Just selling product, you know what I mean, and staying busy and still moving the Final Call newspaper. I may not be doing 1,000 or what I was doing, but like I'm just, by the grace of Allah, that special unit soldier that you call and you need 1,000 papers to be gone, call me. I'm out there on the job, by the grace of Allah. But I thank you, Sister Charlene, because this is a beautiful platform, because I think what we don't talk about, the behind the scenes stuff that go on amongst the FOI and the MGT. We the realest brothers and sisters on the planet. And if you could just be around us behind the scenes, you would join the Nation of Islam today. If not, you're going to walk away and be like, they crazy, but they for real about what they doing. So when I say Derreck for real, the for real actually means something. It's the God we represent, who is Master Fard Muhammad, is his Christ, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is the God in our midst, our Mr. Louis Farrakhan, and yourself. So just be for real in everything you do. So when I throw up the four, I'm speaking for you as well. Be for real, because we definitely love what we represent, and we for real about it. You know, we may laugh, smile, you may have your misinterpretation of us or anything, but just know that we for real about being in the Nation of Islam in this time, in this hour. We for real about helping God's man, our Mr. Louis Farrakhan. We for real about our love for each other as brothers and sisters. And we're going to keep pushing by the grace of Allah. You know, and try to be examples for those that's coming up after us, because we are reaching a certain age and development in our life where we got to duplicate ourselves so we can have the younger brothers and sisters come into this and take that baton and run that marathon. So, you know, I'm honored. I love to come back because, like, you know, I know we was doing an interview about, you know, the history of myself, whatever, but I'm not, my history lies within my brothers and sisters, especially out of LA. I got a special love for each and every one of y'all. Shout out to my brother here. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters from Mosque 74, Mosque 15, Mosque 27, Mosque 54, and the whole Nation of Islam. All the workers, you know, male and female.
Thank you.
Let's keep pushing for the minister in the nation. We are fighting for Islam, and we will surely win in everything that we put our hands on, and Allah bless us to touch. We're going to win in this dark hour.
Yeah.
Thank you, though, for the pumps on the ground that keep these boots on the ground moving. Shout out to my LGT. She an LGT. I don't want it. You can keep it.
Thank you, Brother Derreck. I love it. Assalamu alaikum, and we'll have you back, okay?
Absolutely. Whenever you're ready, let me know. I'm pulling out for real.
Yes, sir. And congratulations on your businesses, too. That has been our show, Pumps on the Ground, today with the Boots on the Ground segment. The salute to the FOI who are out selling the paper. Thank you for staying with us and share the show. You can reach me at liberatedsisters.com, and you can find out how to support or donate if you would like to help me with the work. And also, I would like to ask you to continue tuning in to NNV News. Please share your thoughts with us in the comment section below, and also follow us on social media at NNV News, and also subscribe to our channel. So that's National Network View. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad with Pumps on the Ground. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Cash App NNV News.